Alright, so we're going to pick up with section 7.5 homework with number 17. And if we look here, we are having the given information. So we are told that RT right here is 5, that RQ is 4, that QY is 6. And then what I've done is that if that is 4 and this is 6, then this whole thing here must be 10. And then up here, we could see that the YX is 2. And so then I took, if this is 2 and this is 6, then I said from here to here must be 8. And then, of course, this is what we're looking for, the XV. And so we're going to take our proportions, and we're going to start with 5 over x, and then equals, we're going to do this part of the triangle 10, so we had to add, they get that 4 and the 6 to get this 10, and then the 2 and the 6 we had together to get 8. And so there's our proportion, and now we're going to take and cross multiply, that'll give us 10x. And cross multiply here, and that'll give us 40, and we have x equals 4 as our answer. Okay. All right, if we take a look at the next one here, we are told that we're looking for x, and so if we go with those proportional sides, you can see that the 24 is going to be proportional to the 3x minus 1. And so that's my first part of my proportion. And then that's going to equal 18 over 2x plus 1. That's my second part of the proportion. I'm going to cross multiply and do the distributive property. So multiplying the 18 times the 3x minus 1, I'm going to have 54x minus 18. And then multiplying the 24 by the 2x plus 1, now 4x plus 24. Moving the 48x plus 24. Subtracting 48x from both sides will give me a 6x here. And then adding 18 to both sides will give me a 42 here. And if we divide, x will equal 7. Okay. Flip to the next page, we have two problems there. And so we need to take and look at what we are given here, this 16. We had to make sure by looking at the markings that this was also 16. So that was the first thing I did, was wrote that in there. And then I'm going to look for where I can set up my proportions. And so 16 to 21 on this side, that's the first part of my proportion. And then the 2x plus 6 to the 16 here, that's the second part of my proportion over here. And then I'm going to take and cross multiply and distribute. So 21 times the 2x plus 6 will give me, should be a 42x plus 126. Let me make that adjustment there. And then when I cross multiply over on the other side, 16 times 16, 256. So if I take this 126, subtract it from 256, that'll give me the 130. And if I divide then both sides by 42, I'm going to get approximately 3.1 as my answer. And then the last one we had assigned was problem 23. If we look at this, we're told that this whole measurement here is 54 and that this part is 28. And so therefore this part here has to be 26. Okay. And so now I'm going to take and set up my proportions. I'm going to take this x to this x minus 5. That's the first part of my proportion. And then working with this triangle again, 28 to 26. That's the second part of my proportion over here. When I cross multiply, that gives me the 26x. When I cross multiply and do the distributive property here, that's going to give me the 28x minus 140. And then I'm going to solve that equation to get x is equal to 70.